Hey guys, welcome to another stream, and today we're going to take on Frontend Mentor. Here it is, the beginning of the end. As you can see, we have a very basic bunch of stuff here, and basically we're going to take that and make it into, if I can find the right screen here, this. And then for mobile, it's going to look like this, so basically stack on top of each other, and we should be good to go at that point. Let's see here. Got a few viewers in the channel. Welcome. Please feel free to ask any questions. Tell me if the music's too loud or too quiet, or I'm too loud or too quiet. And let me get going here. Just turn down my own music a little bit in my headphones. All right, so let's see what they give you first. They give you a body with the header kind of done. They give you responsive design, okay. Some weird styles, which I'm assuming is for this. They give you a style guide, which are all the colors, okay. And these are the widths that they're talking about. And at that point, I suppose, interesting that we're using HSLs with percentages. I'm cool with that. All right, let's see what we've got going on. Okay, so first I guess we should build out the HTML, then we can do the styling afterwards, because there's no point doing any of that until we have basically what we believe this should be. So to begin with, I guess look at that design again. All right, so we have like a header with a like subheading, and then like this part. Thank you for the follow there, appreciate that. Thank you, super appreciated. Thank you for another follow there, coming in fast today. Feel free to stick around, have some fun, learn some code. All right, so first let's take care of this. This needs to be in a header, and then we can do cards for these and figure that out. So first, I suppose we should probably use HTML5. So this is technically our header, and then this is H1. Okay, and then this would be like, would this be H12, or just we could put it inside a span? Maybe that would probably work. Like if we put this inside a span, then we can kind of do some styling around like how it looks without having to sort of divide up the H1. So it's probably not a bad idea. Right, so now we have a spam. Okay, and so that basically takes care of the header. Now we can style this as however we want. Actually, go back to the preview again. Oh, I guess there's this part too, this subheading that's technically just like a paragraph of writing. So we can also put that inside the header too, which I think is all of this. Okay, yeah, let's make that a P. Okay, and I guess we should just add some classes here to this. So this class can just be like heading, and then this can be the subheading. So that takes care of that, and then we'll make this the, we'll just leave that as is, I guess, for now, and then maybe we can start differently in a minute. All right, now we have these pieces, and these are kind of interesting, right? So when you look at the design preview here, you have like a card header, then you have this, and then you have the icons that they've given to us. So let's do that, and then we can go forward from there. So we need to make this really like our main section here. So we can just set a main around this, right? That's just HTML5 way of saying like this is the main content. And then what we can do is do like a box, and then we'll do well, yeah, okay, so we can do like a div around it like this, and we'll set the div to wrap all of it in, and then we can set something along the nature of like a H3. Yeah, that should be good. H3s for the header, because it's not really a subheading. So like H2 is really a subheading, so it's not a subheading. We're looking at something that is a header for a card. So let's see what we got. Then this would just be regular P, because it's just it's just a paragraph RAM. So let's just add P here. Nope. Slightly too much code. There we go. And then that kind of gives you an idea, right? So each one of them is going to look like this. Now let's just do a quick format to make them all neat and tidy. Don't know why you're closing P tags out automatically. That's fine. So we've got an H3, a P, and then a div, and then the main content. Then this will be the same, and then the same, and then the same. So then we'll have 4 different ones, and then we can style them using a class of like card, and then like card blue, card whatever the card colors are, yellow, blue, red, cyan maybe that's cyan. It's hard to tell, but that's what we'll be doing. And then after that we can then move back into some other stuff and hopefully make it look as close as possible to that. I'm not exactly a front-end developer. It's not my forte. I am, in my heart of hearts, I am a back-end developer. I always have been. Nope, I want that to be that. I wrote code for a long time without ever seeing a front end. I wrote back-end code that processed DMV transactions. Then I wrote code to process lottery transactions. Then I wrote code to do banking transactions. So you can tell that my front-end skills haven't really been tested. I did do a lot of stuff originally, like when I first really got going, when I really wanted to be a full stack developer, and that's basically what I do now. But I focus more on back-end work because that's what I'm good at. And most of my back-end work is fixing bugs of other people because that's really my strength. So most people's strengths, right, are things like, oh, I'm really good at design, or I'm really good at figuring out architecture, or something like that. Or my skill is being able to take somebody else's code, pull it apart, and then redo their code to a higher standard. And that's basically what I do a lot of the time. All right. So that kind of gives us the outline, right? So if we save this and then we go back to this, now it looks like this. So before it was just a bunch of crap all over the top, and now we've got it in sections. So let's see what happens now if we kind of start. We'll start like with this piece, We'll make sure we add some classes to everything, and then we'll kind of like work in like the code pieces of the CSS, and then come back and add like the images, because the images aren't here, which they do provide. So first, let's make a new file and call it style.css or styles.css. All right, got all this. I'm just going to leave this here like it's not affecting anything. So let's just add the style sheet, which we can just put in the head here. We'll just do link style sheet. That seems right. That's what you usually use, he says with complete confidence. And then we'll add the styles.css. Now what we'll be able to do at this point is use anything in the style sheet. So let's start with this stuff. Then we'll get this looking like real nice. Then we'll work on this, and then we'll add the icons, like the pictures last, and we'll make those however they're supposed to be. All right, so we've got H1 that we're using, and then we got like an H1 span that's in there. It's also in there, right? So that's the H1 with a span and the H1. So based upon that, we can probably do something real simple to get it kind of what we want, and then we can work on that. I suppose first, yeah, let's just do the most important piece, right, is box sizing. Set this to border box, and then that will reset everything so we get full margins. Also, did I forget something else here? Oh, yeah. And we also want to set like something on this header so that when it's at full screen, it's a certain length, and then when it's at the mobile version, it's something else. And then what is this style guides? Oh, and we also need to do this. So we also need to add the custom stuff in there. So we'll also do that. Let me just kill this server, bring it back up. Okay, that's cool. Just go ahead and open on that screen. There we go. All right, so let's look at this Google font. Yep. So this is it. It's just Poppins. Okay. That seems fairly simple. Oh, I didn't actually want to download the. If you download the Poppins, then you're in trouble. So let's just do this differently. Let's just use the import, which I haven't done in forever. I think it's something like import. Yep. And then URL, and then what the URL is. So they have a style guide. So stick that in there. Now that gives us just. Oh wait, do we need to do something crazy like? Yeah, let's open that up again. Oh, can you do it like this? Oh, well. I didn't know you could do that. All right, cool. So let's just quickly do the ones that we need from the style guide. The style guide says 200s, 400s, and 600 weights. All right. Minimize. So I don't need this. I just need this. 200, 400, 600. Semi-bold. Is that what we're calling it these days? All right, we can steal this now. We should be able to just do this. And then just put one of those at the front. and then probably a semicolon to make it happy. All right, cool. So now we got that piece done. Then we can just do like body, font, family, and then set it to like what it is, which is pop-ins, and then we'll just do a backup sans serif in case like for some reason it stops loading. Then we can do that. And the style guide, does it have a? It does have 15 pixels. Not too worried about that right now. Very light gray. Looking at this design, do you think that this background is very light gray? I assume that's probably what they mean. So probably talking about this, right? This light grayness. So let's just toss that as the background color. And then if it's wrong, we can just change it later. If that's not what that is. It's 0%, right? And then it was 98. Yeah, okay. So that's very light gray. So now, if we look at this, so this is now like the nice color that they like, gray color. If we inspect this, we should see this background color. If we turn it off and turn it back on, it's very subtle. It probably doesn't show up on stream very well, but I promise that there's a color change there. All right, so let's close this for now. We don't need you anymore. Now we need to work on the header, H1s and P, and that span piece that's like extra bold or whatever. So let's see here. So for the H1, the font weight is probably just 200, right? That's like, just looks like regular text. It doesn't look fancy. So let's go ahead and then take that and see if that looks sort of similar. So save the style sheet. Yep, I think that looks pretty close. Same size, same kind of shape. Obviously we need to move it around, but that kind of looks like what we want. Then we probably should set the header. So we can then do like this. So we set the text align right in the middle, right? So that will take care of this. Like now it's in the middle. So we already took care of one problem that we were probably going to face at some point, is where is this in the on the page? Now we need to figure out like how far down the page to kind of push it so that it looks like this, right? So there's like a top margin of like, I don't know, 40 pixels, 30 pixels, something like that, that we need to take into consideration. So on the header, let's just add a margin. Let's set something like that, and then I guess we'll just auto the rest. And then that should take care of that piece. And then I guess we can set the width to something. Like, I don't know. I guess actually if we set, no, yeah, let's set max width to like 400 pixels. Doesn't have anything in the style guide about that. Nope. Okay. Oh, that's too far. That's way too far. Too many screens open. There we go. Like it should be like this, and ours looks like this. It's like too shoved this way. So what we should do is just give it like another, I don't know. Let's give it another, say, 50 pixels. Uh, 50 more pixels. Did that look any different? Am I crazy? You know what? Let's do it this way. Let's make life easy on ourselves, huh? I can't snap it because I have another screen. I can't remember the shortcut. All right. Yeah, that looks better. Now we just need to bold this up. So what did 450 look like? Because I don't want to make it too wide. I mean, that's on a single line. That's on a single line. This is 3 lines. This is on 2 lines. Okay, does 50 pixels make that much difference? Yes, all right. Okay, I'm not gonna fight it anymore. That seems to be the max width. All right, so now we've got the max width. We've also got like what we're doing sort of with the header. Now we set this stuff and we have the font weight on this, which is this whole thing. But what we really want to do is, we don't need that. We can just do this. So this selects the H1 inside, that span inside the H1. So now we can do something like, I guess that's probably, what was the heaviest weight? 600? Yeah. I mean, that looks pretty good to me. I don't know about anybody else in the chat, but that definitely looks pretty close to what they want there. And it'll look better, obviously, once we put in this piece and these like the boxes or the cards even. So once you put the cards in, like, this will make more sense. All right, so we got that part done. Check that off the list. We're good to go. Now what we want to do is go and take care of some other stuff. First of all, let me just check. Thank you for the follow, TBI704. Also, a bunch of other people that I apparently missed. Thank you all for the follow. Appreciate that. Hope you're enjoying. Keep the chat going if you'd like. Let's move on to this sort of main content section. So this main section is the container. That's basically what it is. So if I add the class container, now I know for sure that this is what's going to contain all of our like boxes, and we can flex them around. So at that point, like, what we can do, I suppose, is set some classes on here. So let's call this class card. And then we should apply that for each card that we have, right? So we've got 4 cards, and we should set the card to all of them because they're all the same. Like, they don't change. Like, they're all the same shape, size, width. The only thing that's different is the color at the top and the positioning of where they are on the screen. So they're not any different. And then what we can do is do, well, let's build it out first. Let's just do this container, and then we'll do the cards, and then we can do like, I want it to be here, 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 or there, and then the colors. So let's save that and do styles again. We'll do a dot container. Now, if I was more experienced with grid, I'd actually like to use grid here, but I think flex is probably going to be fine. So let's put the display flex on there. Okay. Oh, there we go. Like, we just hit the save, and now they've already moved from here to there. So you now got kind of like a how do I want to describe this? You got like the row with like 4 different columns there. Then what we want to do is say, hey, if it's too big, just like do flex wrap on it. And we also want to set like the max width of the container, and the max width is the same width as the style guide. So here it says like, here's the max width. is 1440, but like we want to leave a little bit on the sides, right? So if you look at this here, like there's a gap here and a gap here of a few hundred pixels, or a percentage of like probably 5%. So what we can do is set a max width that says like don't get any bigger than this, because we don't want anything other than this size, right? So max width, and we'll just do like 1200 pixels. Okay, so now it looks really messed up, right? We really like shoved it all together, but that's okay. Like that's the beginning pieces, right? The problem people get with CSS is that now that they've seen this, they'll be like, okay, now I got to spend like 4 hours like trying to get justify right, and then like should this be stretch, safe, right, left, end, and then they get distracted by the fact that you're building a block. So this is okay to say like, all right, well I know it's going to be this. I want to justify all my content in the center, or at least I think that's what it's going to be. We'll find out, I suppose. But like, why worry about each piece as we go when you could just be like, okay, let's start here, then let me build it up, and then in the end we'll have something cool to look at. What people do is they get caught in the weeds. It's not box, James. Stop writing the word box. It's a card. Is that what I wrote? Yes. All right. They get caught in the weeds, and then they can't figure out what's going on. So for the card pieces, right, it's just a real simple, like, it's not an actual card. Like we could use Bootstrap and bootstrap these together, but what's the, like, we can just use straight CSS. So what we're trying to do here is to set this with like a border, and then like this cool color at the top depending on which box that you do. So let's build out like a card-ish shape. Definitely going to have a border, and that border is going to be some sort of like, well, I guess not really. Okay. Well, let's work with a box shadow, right? That's probably a good place to start. Box shadow. So we have one in the start guide. Any colors? Just those, and then just these. Okay. So box shadow. What's so like? I don't know. 0, 10, 20s, and then like I can't remember what it is. I think it's RGBA, and then we can just do like 0. It seems intense. And then we need the other part of that box shadow, which is comma, and then what we want it to be. What do I have it now? 10s. So we could do just, yeah, let's just do 10s. I'm setting these to like, what did I set to? 0? Set this to 0. Damn it. 0.1. All right. So you can kind of see, like, it might be hard to show on the stream, but let me make this big. You can see like here is like this light shadowing right now around the edges. Like that'll do for the beginning. And as we build it out, I keep looking over there. There's no camera over there. It's just me. That'll just kind of give us a good starting point. And then like we can add a little padding to make them more obvious, and then we'll go from there. I wonder. I don't know. Well, we'll figure it out, right? Let's add. Let's add some stuff here. Let's add a width of like, no, not max width, an actual width. So let's start with like a 250 pixel width box. They're a little small, but it'll be fine. All right. So we'll start with the small blocks. Now you can see that flex wrap is working quite well. Like we have 3 and then we have 1. So we set width, then we'll add like a margin of 10 more pixels to give it like spacing between each block. So now when you look at it, you think, okay, here's definitely 1 square, 2 square, 3 square, 4. As the famous rhyme goes. I guess we want to set position of something, maybe like a relative. Yep, that's definitely what I wanted. So that will make some other important pieces happen afterwards. Then, oh, this is a jam. There's apparently motion at my front door. Sure, it's unimportant, right? So we've been live for about 30 minutes, and this is what we got so far. So what's next? We probably want to set padding around the whole thing. Because what you'll find, like, let's inspect this so we can discuss this a bit more and then make it full screen because nobody wants to work in that size. All right, so when we look at this rate, this is something that people get confused about too. Like this, the green right there is the padding around the edge to give it more of like it's enclosed and it's like a space. And then on top of that, you can do like the margin, which is the orange piece here, which gives us like the margin around the content. So the padding makes the content like this, adds it around the edge of the actual content, and then this is like the full box around that box has that. So now we have like this nice little, like, they're a bit small, but they're good for a good starting point. So let's just shrink this back down, get rid of this. This box shadow is definitely not right because it's kind of dark around some of the edges, and ours is very, very much not that right now. Because I have to set this to 0, so like 0.3 maybe. There you go. 0.2. Yes. What's 0.5 look like? That's too dark. So right, at least right now it looks too dark, and that's probably because they're so close together. But when we space them out a bit more, this number might need to change. And this goes back to my previous comment about when you're building CSS, don't try and build something all at once. Like Rome wasn't built in a day, so neither is your code. So spend a bit more time just getting it like 80%. Get 80% of it done, then worry about the rest later. In this design, it looks like it has curved corners. Yeah, okay, so there is curved corners on each side. So let's add the radius for that. Something like that. 10 pixels might be okay. It looks kind of harsh. That might be too far. Let's leave it at 20 for now. We can come back and fix it later, right? It's not about being perfect on the first attempt. It's about getting everything looking good and then coming back. So we have that. All right. I'm kind of happy with how this is looking so far for the card. So let's move on and think about other pieces of this puzzle. So now we need to figure out how we're going to get these kind of aligned correctly. So there's gonna be like, at some point there's gonna be someone is gonna have to. We're gonna have to use like transform to move something, the flip side of something else, probably. So we can do that last. Probably the best option right now is to open this drink. Almost. Not sponsored, but Mad Pony by GNC is delicious. So, one thing to note is that I don't know. Okay, yeah, that's definitely probably going to be the easiest thing. So let's worry about this part now, right? So, is that what I? No, I did H3, right? So this is H3 and this is a P. So let's do. This will give this like the what we really want, which isn't a lot. Like it's going to be like, we should probably set not max resolution, I can tell you that for sure. There you go. Like we don't want a margin on there at all because it shoves it down. So let me just take this away again and hit refresh. See how far away that is from the top? But if you look at this, like it's not that far away. Like it's definitely not this far away. And now I'm looking at this. This is way too harsh. Okay, so 10 pixels probably looks better. And then no margin, no thank you. We don't need that, right? And then we should probably set this to something smaller. 13? That looks about right. My parents are currently texting me asking if I got my stimulus check, which I find hilarious at both so many levels. That whole kerfuffle is such an interesting thing right now. But we won't get into that. The answer is, of course, no. The government doesn't like me that much. So let's keep on track here. Just accidentally closed out of my stream on my phone so I can see what's going on when I'm not looking at my other screen over here to see what's going on. So much confusion. All right. Yeah, I think that's probably right. 13? Is that what I set it to? Does it have a style guide? Just a body copy is 15s. I'll leave that as is. Like, I think that looks fine. Okay. Did I set? No. Like, I forgot to set. So, like each P. Oh, this is a jam. Hope you guys can hear this. This is really good. This, like, all of this by default should be set to that font weight of 200. But there's a color involved somewhere. I think that could be could be this color, or right, like the grayish blue color is kind of what it looks like. There's one way to tell, and that is not how you set colors, but that is. All right, that looked, yeah, okay. I was like, I was looking at the screen thinking it looked a little too dark, and I couldn't understand why this looked so dark, but it was because I'd got sidetracked when I was thinking about P's. But that should take care of basically all of the like basic outline. And now that looks kind of skinny. Yeah, we'll leave it at 13 for now. So what we have left is we need to take care of the cards. So what we need to do is like essentially move one of these cards to the opposite side, and we also need to worry about things like color at the top. So let's see. So this supervisor one, what color is that? Red. All right. So we'll add another class to it, and we'll call it card red. So that now we know that one is card red. And then this one, team builder is card. Wait, did I just confuse myself? Supervisor is not red. That's cyan. Now this one is card red. Karma is yellow. Leaving this one to be that blue color. So we'll call that card blue. So now we have cyan, red, yellow, and blue. So for each one of those, we've got to set like the color at the top. I think probably the easiest way to do that is to do something like after, maybe card red after. Maybe this is right. Let's find out. Let's start there and we can work around it, because I think that after will do what I want it to do. But we might have to do some more stuff afterwards. Did I save that? And did I name it right? I think that's what I want, but now I'm not 100% sure. I wonder, maybe. Maybe if I set something here to like... Well, welcome to me, guess lines of code until I get something. No. Oh. No. Oh, maybe I... Haha! Do I need all of this now? What happens if I remove this? Yep. Okay. Yeah, I guess. Okay. So I knew that like the after would work, but like I wasn't sure 100% what we had to do to make this kind of work. Maybe the height's wrong. Let's try like an even 5. That seems hella thick. That is thick though. That is thick. All right, I believe you. So now we've set this. Like now we can just do blue, yellow, cyan. Okay. And then we can just grab the colors that we need. So this is cyan. Cyan. Okay. Maybe this needs to. I'm having a real hard. I'm having a real time trying to figure out like why my box looks so weird. But we'll worry about it afterwards. This just doesn't look quite right. So maybe we need to do some finessing afterwards. Was this yellow I just selected? Yes. And then blue is that final color. I really should just move my I should really just move this to here so that I'm stopped looking like it looks like I'm actually looking at somebody instead of just looking at myself. All right, so now we have some weird looking cards with a weird top, but it's looking much better than it was before. So what kind of, how are we doing on time here? Okay, we're just under an hour in. So we're almost done. Almost being like the key phrase. So what we can do now. What happens when we shrink? Nope. Boop, boop, boop. All right, so this does already kind of happen because of the way flex works. And then like here, kind of like close to what we should be. But there's still like problem with I suppose like what happens if we let's look at what like if we were gonna so this right so what I'm trying to think of like how to move this and push it almost so it's like centered here and then the one that's the blue box maybe the blue box which is currently in the right position like we want to make sure that these like sit where they're supposed to be because look supervisor is here left this is over here and then these kind of like kiss each other right so how now brown cow do we do that kind of thing well first let's add another class to those two I suppose so supervisor needs a new one let's call it card transform and we should put it on the calculator so now what we could do this is what I said earlier like we need to push them almost to say like this is what this should be here and this should be here so like that's on the y-axis translate y and then like I guess yo that all kind of worked it kind of worked these are in the right position now I guess but not quite there well this doesn't help like this stupid front end thing is probably like screwing some stuff up maybe if we set wait well I don't want to like mess around with too much of the box stuff like right out the gate, but let's just make them bigger. Okay. Why is this like here? Do we need? I need to put something on this damn fur. We could just do like. Is there like some weird style inside this that's messing it up? Text align, center, font size 11. Why is this shrunk so much? Get over here. Yes, there we go. Okay, well. Vision 6, bond 0. There we go. Now it's out from away. So we sort of, kinda, maybe have what we want, but not really. Okay. I'm so close. We just need to move some of these around. Like, do I have them in the wrong order? Like, did I mess the order up? Like, I don't think so. Like, I didn't do any stupidity. Oh, I guess though. Like, hold on. Whoa, whoa, whoa. What happens if you move this and put it here? Is this div not closed? Am I trolling myself? Oh my gosh. Can't spell today. Oh, come on. Yo. MTV Raps. Okay. So now we're kind of looking at something that's semi okay. The height is messed up for sure. The width looks too much like, oh god. Got it stuck halfway between two screens. Just trolling myself. There we go. So like it's halfway between two, like what it look like. This looks good. This kind of looks okay. But like we can see that some things are not good. If I go into DevTools and set this to like an iPhone, so that's going to be okay. One thing that we have to make sure is this right now. That's that transform Y. I think that's causing this problem. Yeah. You see how that fixed it immediately? Like as soon as we press like. As soon as we click off transform Y, it fixes the problem. So this, okay, so at media rule, screen, jeez. I guess that doesn't really, we don't need screen. So we just need max width, because it's not screen based, it's more pixels. So if it's half the size of the full width that they gave us at the beginning, then turn off the card transform, set the transform back to nothing, and then we won't have to worry. You know what I mean? Like now, okay. This front end thing's hilarious right now. Now it's fixed. I fixed it to the bottom, and now it's like overriding code, which is fine. Like we don't care about that right now. So now we kind of have everything in the right place. let's mess around with some styles. Swap these around just to make life confusing. It makes it easier for me because I feel like I'm doing this all the time and I'm like, oh, my neck. All right, so now I've lost my mouse somewhere in the oblivion. What we need to do is add all these SVGs to these to make them the right, because like part of the size problem is that it doesn't have the image. So let's add the images in and then see what happens. All right, so the image source equals, this one is supervisor, so images supervisor. We'll set the alt to supervisor, so that it's important to put your alts in there, obviously. All right, so we have that, and then we can just copy and paste this to everywhere else. And now we have evenly sized things. It looks so weird right now because I think the width is not great, so it's like doing the transform kind of weirdly. All right, so let's change them. So this one is team builder, so icon team builder, and we'll set this to team builder icon. And then this one is calculator. We'll set this to calculator icon. And finally, this is the comma one, so we'll set that to the comma icon as well. Yo, what? Oh, that's cool. Just add extra SVGs to everything. And also there. So now we have like the icons, but the icons, one, are on the wrong side. Two, they're all random sizes. So that's two problems that we have to fix. So let's start by fixing that problem. So to fix that problem, we can just set like yo, I said that with so much confidence. So much confidence, and then I was like, nope. Display block, and then I want to there we go. I was like, I want to push it over here, and I was like, should I use float, or what do I use for that? All right, so now we're kind of, man, I really hate that top piece. It's certainly not. It's not far away. Like, it's not far away, but it's not fantastic either. Like, looking at this, and then looking at this, like, these are. It's almost like we need like an actual. Well, maybe if we just unharsh these corners. All right, let's start there. This border radius, maybe let's try and shore up some of this, like get it looking more like what we want, and then come back to everything else. Just to see. All right. I was like, maybe there's just something missing here that I'm not getting. Okay, so now we set the overflow to hidden. Like, the corners don't look horrible, which was my problem. Like, I was looking at it, and if I take this away again before I take a sip of my wonderful beverage, you see, like, it's just a straight line, and it's not very, it's not the same as like this. Now that looks kind of like what we want. Now we can look at anything else and say, okay, is this margin enough here and here to match sort of this? And I think it's maybe if we do 20 pixels here. Yeah, that looks better. Okay, so now we got like 20 pixels. Maybe this, like, all around, if we added more here. More. That's close, I think. This is a jam too. Putting out all the bangers today. It's close, right? So the problem is, like, maybe we need to maybe we could add. I'm trying to think of, like, box shadows, I hate you. Why you gotta be so bad? Like, I'm looking at it and I'm thinking there's not much really that we could do. Like, maybe we could set the box to be taller. Maybe. Like, right now we have this pattern of 35, right? Which looks, don't get me wrong, this looks sort of fine, but it's not long enough. Like, look at this picture here. Big. Like, it's long. So maybe if we add more, like, padding to it, we can sort of work through that ourselves. Like, just to the top and the bottom. So, like, maybe if we did, like, padding top, I don't know, 20 pixels, and padding bottom 20 pixels. Yo. And then come back here, look at it now. Okay. Now if we shove this over here and select this. Okay, let's set this to 50. I'm a madman. No, I don't want to look at that. See, that's closer to the right size, but what does it look like in mobile? What is happening here? Is it that wide? What is happening here? Interesting. I don't know. Yes, that looks like the right height, but now there's this weird margin problem that I have. Or content problem, that's for sure. What is C here? Maybe the inspect the content. So, what was that? What's happening to this one? It's like 10 times bigger than everybody else. Am I the only one that sees this? Am I going crazy in my old age? Okay, maybe I just should leave it alone. Okay, take this back out. I mean, it's still weird that this last one... I think this is screwing up. Hold on. Let's get rid of this. Y'all know who I am, so it's not like I need to... Nope, there's just that last one. She big. She a big girl, all by herself for some reason. Okay. It's that icon. Is she a bigger icon than everybody else? No, she kind of looks the right size. Interesting. Well, there must be some sort of weird flex problem that I have. Okay. So what if we... I don't know what it does there. Actually, it looks pretty good right now. I don't know about anybody else. What do people think? Does that look good to people? Is that what we're expecting in life? Something like that. It looks pretty nice. It's the right kind of it's the right shape. The size kind of looks good. I'm pretty happy with the way that this showed up. The only thing no, there's not really anything that's out of place. Looks nice. All right, so let's quickly just go through what we did to get here, in case you missed some of the beginning or you missed the end or whatever. So this is a Frontend Mentor challenge, part 1. Basically, they give you this without any of the headers or the footers or whatever else. It just gives you like the content, and then use the content to create what you want. So what I did here was broke it down into sort of the body with the header, and then the main content. There was a footer, but I got rid of it. Inside of the header is this section right here. We did that, and that part was really easy. We just took the Google font, we set it to 600 for this span, and then we set this to H1. Then we set these to H3s, and this just to paragraph, and also this to paragraph. Then what we did is made our nice card, which isn't technically a card at all, but just some basic CSS. At that point, we were ready to go. Like, we didn't really have much else to do. This looks funky. Then, yeah, so to push these two, like the calculator and the supervisor, is that the right card? Yeah. What I did was say, like, just transform and then do 50%. And that 50% moves it over, and then we're good to go. So we're pretty much there. I'm pretty happy with it. Like, I would keep it like this. Otherwise, what will happen is I'll spend another hour, and it'll literally just be me on the stream, like 5 pixels here. Okay, nope. 5 pixels there. Nope. So it's like a lot of just pointlessness. So what we'll do now is, let's see what kind of time we're coming up to here. All right, so we're doing the live for over an hour. This is my short stream day, so I'm just trying to like see what we can do. If anything, we could look at the next challenge, I suppose, and just talk about like the idea behind it, and like where it's at. And I can also show you Frontend Mentor while I'm here, because you might not even be familiar with it. So Frontend Mentor is like this crazy, great, awesome way of getting used to taking a design and making it into a website. So this is like real life. So at my last job, previous to this one, what you'd get is literally you'd just get, hey man, we created this thing. It looks like this. Like, we can give you this, like the colors and the font that we want to use, and the rest is up to you. We want it to look like this, and then like when it goes to a mobile, like on our mobile app, we want it to look like this. And you'd be like, okay, cool. Like, is there anything that, like, did you got anything else? And they might give you a style guide that says like, this is the font we want, this is the font size, these are the colors, primary, and here is like the widths that we're allowed to use. So this is the same idea here, right? So Frontend Mentor does the same thing. So you can go here and say, hey, click on challenges and say sort by easiest to hardest. Now, easiest first is like the newbie section. Naturally, the first one that we just did was this newbie version. Super easy, didn't take any time. And then you have the option, like for like $6, you can actually buy the sketch file from them, which is pretty cheap, honestly, to get like a cool design. And like these go up to like, if I sort this by hardest first, it goes all the way to like, here's an advanced one. Let's look at rock paper scissors game. So I actually just wrote a rock paper scissors like JavaScript that basically does the same thing, but like crappy, which was part of the Odin project. And honestly, after doing 3 streams of the Odin project, if I was just someone trying to learn, I would have probably quit on the spot, because the Odin project's idea is awesome. It's open sourced and people can contribute to X. So they can give you whatever they want. And like the course was just like, okay, here's HTML, CSS, and development. Please go to Free Code Camp, which is another resource which is amazing, and do their first like 300-hour course. And then once you've done that, come back here and we'll kind of do no more digging and go ahead and do some JavaScript. And it really just was disappointing. So I just was like, I can't let followers know that this is a good service. Even though it's free, like Free Code Camp is 100 times better. And even though it doesn't like source openly, they're just unreal. So anyway, so you can do things like this, like desktop, and then there's the bonus design where you can like do rock paper scissors lizard Spock, which is from whatever that show, Big Bang Theory. And then you got the mobile design. This is what the mobile looks like, and like they're tough for sure. Like even some of the like, let's see here, these are the most popular, right? Oh, most recent. So even some of the sort of junior stuff, like it has like active states, so have a that, and then you have to design. So like one like this could take a good chunk of time. Like this could be a whole Sunday stream, which is like my long stream day. Or you got other things like this, which I think is the next one on the list, which is like a real simple, we're coming soon, enter your email address, here's a picture of a nice lady, please buy our gear. Like that will be the next one that we do for sure. I just don't want to like start something and finish it on another stream, preferably. But it looks good. And then basically what you can do at that point is you can say, hey, come here and like look at my solutions. So here's a person that did it with Flexbox, translate regex, form validation with custom message. So like you can look at this thing and say preview site please, and like they'll host it. And like if I type in like not email.com, like it says please enter correct email message, and it's got a little like thing. These are additional things that aren't required to do. And then like I see if we inspect, I think, yeah. So you can like inspect other people's code and say, okay, like how did they do this? So they got like a translate wire 50 pixels on here, the border box, display box. So overall, like even if you like slog away, so let's go back to solutions. So even if you you have 90% of yours done and you're like, man, I can't get this last 10%. That's what's good about this. You can go here and say, all right, here's another one. Let's preview this guy's site. So he's built the same thing that we just did. So maybe we can inspect it and say, okay, like, what did you do to do this? And like, they used articles, which is another HTML5 piece, which we could have used. And then they've done like, this is and they used first child versus what I did for the headers. So like, what happens is you end up learning a bit more about how to do this kind of stuff. And then you can like give them some community feedback and say, hey, this looks really great. Congratulations. Or like, hey, like I noticed when you do this, this happens. And then people get to learn a bit more about what's happening. And it's always good to give feedback to developers. We don't particularly enjoy it, but overall it's usually pretty good. So yeah, so this is what ours looks like. I think it looks pretty good, and we'll post it up there and see what other people think during the stuff. Yeah, so actually I think what I'll do is I'll end the stream here today at like just over an hour and a half. And then when we do the big stream on Sunday, we can do like a tougher one. Like maybe we'll pick one out of the, like maybe this one. Job filtering with active states and kind of stuff like that. It's like on the intermediate level, but it should be pretty fun. And then we can kind of see like where we're at, and if we decide that that's good, then we should just continue on and keep going. And yeah, so we'll end the stream here. If you did enjoy the stream and you learned something new today, make sure you follow so that we can keep this train going. We do have a Discord. It's down in the description. Join up. We can have conversations about anything. If you need help with coding or you just want to chat to more developers, that's where you can go. Yeah, and we'll see you next time. See ya.